Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody today? Happy Friday and good morning still for me, I guess it is. 11:46 here, guys. How are we today? Strike first, as always, on time, early, and right there. Miss Michelle Wilkinson, welcome back. Good to see you again. Great to have you here. Miss Pam, how are you today, ma'am? And let's see, Popper Jack's in the house. Got the Dago got the BSOD. I'm sorry, explain that, sir. Happy Friday. What's up, Captain Random? Welcome, sir. Mr. Edward Valdez, Pam Tony. Good day to all of you. What is the BSOD, Dan? I'm a little behind on, I guess, modern abbreviations, I guess. I don't know. Catch me up here, bro. What's BSOD? Now I'm curious. And I would appreciate, well, maybe not. Good morning, Miss Chrissy. How are you? Blue screen of death. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. Gotcha. Very funny. What's up, Becca? Good morning to all of you. Good to see you, or good afternoon, depending on where you are, of course. All right, with these, come on. All right, let me let this load up a little bit. Get some people on in here. How are you today, Miss Chrissy and Becca? Miss Pam, how is everything going for you today? Did you find anything out yet, ma'am? Oh, I gotta figure out how to shut these notifications off. They are driving me insane. Hope you're having a great day, everybody. A great start to your day. It's Friday, the last day of the week. It's time to celebrate. The weekend is here for all of you hard-working people that work 5 days. It is time to be done with that after today and enjoy yourselves for a couple of days. Not yet? Okay, no worries. No news is good news. It's the way I look at it. Yep. Sorry, everybody. Give me a moment. I did share this. I got to get my personal invitations out for the people that do not get. How many of you guys got a notification from YouTube? Please throw a one in your chat for me, please. Let's see. All right. Everybody, if you could, please say an extra prayer. I noticed you, if you haven't noticed, Bronx Born hasn't been in here for a while. Well, she's in Puerto Rico with her mother, and she's been at the hospital, staying there with them. Of course, you know, it's a little different over there than it is here, and it's been a rough time for her. So please throw her some prayers and some good vibes. She needs it right now, guys. It's been a bad year for Bronx, so we're going to try to keep her spirits up as best we can. So that's why we haven't seen her. She needs all the support she can get. So let's throw that out there for her. Popper got one. Pam, Becca. Okay, good stuff. She did message me this morning. Let me know everything's going well. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Getting these notifications out for everybody. I got to get my girls in here. Miss Heather and Miss Brandy. I already got the Poppers here, so these are my top dogs. Bow wow. Top dog modes. You just got out of the hospital. What do you mean? You were in here yesterday. What's going on? Thank you, Becca. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle. I asked everybody to throw a one in the chat if you didn't hear me. If you got a notification from YouTube, I'm trying to watch that to see how many notifications YouTube is actually sending out. Because I have to actually personally go in DMs and send certain notifications to people half the time because people don't get their notifications from me. So thank you, Miss Pam. I appreciate that as well as she does as well. Okay, Miss Heather, Miss Brandy. Or Strike is in here. You got a broken foot. How'd you do that one? Or do I want to know? You gotta be careful there, little brother. Gotta be careful. You need both them things. I mean, you can get away with one, but you gotta. It's better off if you got two of them. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let me see. I'm trying to escape. Ah. Okay. Listen, bud. I used to be a skater back in the day. I loved it. I did my thing. I was pretty good at it. It wasn't too bad. You have to mentally accept it at some time. You're almost 30 now. You can't do it all. I mean, you can't do some of them things we used to be able to do. I think if I even looked at a skateboard, I'd probably end up in the hospital right now. So, yeah, we don't do that. Just be careful because you're lucky you only just broke your foot. You could have done a lot more damage there, bud. Be careful. Be safe. I'm sure your beau wouldn't like it if you ended up in some hardcore traction in the hospital or something. I'll bet. I bet he'd be unhappy. But I'm sure he would come to the hospital and hang with you there too. So, at least based on what you told me. Where are we at here? All right. Good. Tell him he better take good care of you. He's gonna have to deal with all of us if not. Yes, I believe you do, Michelle. I have definitely started. If you can't hear me, Lord, that's that's a hell of a delay. Hey, can you hear me, Michelle? I've been going for a little while, at least now. At least say like 10 minutes, guys. Okay, I was gonna say you're kind of on delay there. Good morning, Miss Heather. I got one of you. Where's the other one? These are the Trouble Sisters, Heather and Brandy. They're always plotting something against me. I think. Or am I just paranoid? No, I think they are. No, maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe I'm confused. No, I think they are. Becca. No, I'm just messing with you guys. I'm bored. I get goofy when I get bored. That's all. Okay, now you're gonna throw. Wait till she jumps in here. You just threw all that blame on her completely. I know you're the quiet one out of the two, but I don't know. I think being quiet makes you more dangerous, dear. That's my personal opinion. Oh, and here is Captain Random's random piece of information for the day, guys. History lesson in Space Shuttle Columbia explosion happened on August 26th of 2003. And thank you, Captain Random, for that useless piece of information that we're going to do nothing with. But we do appreciate you, Edward. Absolutely. Always. Always, always. What would we do, you guys, if we didn't have Captain Random in here to give us at least one piece of useless information a day? What would we do? I know somebody's going to say something smart ass, but I bet you'd be lost. Honestly, I do appreciate you, buddy. I think it's awesome that you have all of this info stored in that little thing on top of your shoulders. That's pretty cool, especially at your age, dude. 19 or 20 now, I think it is, but 20 years old, and you have all this. I mean, you've told me some shit that I didn't even fucking. excuse my language, even remotely know. Okay, so at your age, that's pretty awesome, dude. Heather, do you mean? What do you mean, Heather? I'm talking about Captain Random. You ever heard the Columbia Space Shuttle explosion incident? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, have you ever heard of the Challenger Space Shuttle explosion incident, Edward? I was in fifth grade. The date is nowhere inside of my head. I think it was 1980, 85. I think it was 85. Somebody please correct me because I know I'm wrong. And it was they they made us watch it um, in class, and we all cried, even though I don't think we knew why we were crying. Well, hello, Miss Cece. It was 1988. Thank you, Miss. Was it really? No, I didn't think it was that far along. 80s. There it is. See, he's the one that knows everything. Popper, January of '86. That's right. I knew it was in the wintertime because it was shortly after Christmas. We had come back from Christmas break. Fingers, Michelle, fingers. What are we talking about? Why are we talking about fingers? Yes, I have some. You guys have some? We all got fingers. Okay, now that we know that. Oh, hello, Miss CC, the sweetest lady on the internet. How are you? Just, I just noticed. I just noticed that you did get a notice. Then okay. Or did you get one from me personally, or did you get one from YouTube, hon? Oh, I got you. Fingers. Let your fingers do the walking. Working your first job in a nursing home in 1986. Was it, Popper? Where'd you go? Yeah. Okay. YouTube. Good. I'm glad they're doing their thing. Okay, here's another piece from Edward. Before the space shuttle Challenger explosion, some of the Soviet space missions failed and some of their Soviet astronauts died. Yes, I did know about that as well. Sadly, it interrupted Punky Brewster. I was in school when it happened, so I don't know where you were watching Punky Brewster at, but I was in fifth grade, sitting in my classroom, and they wheeled a TV in and said, "Everybody, please be quiet." And boom, they turned it on, and the news was on, and Peter Jennings, or no, Dan Rather, no, was it? It was Dan Rather, was talking, and he was sobbing, and he had his head down, and was sad, and we were all sad because we had no idea why. And then they were showing the replay of it exploding, and then we were all like, "Wow!" And the teacher started crying, and it was horrible. And she was crying because there was a teacher on board, Krista McCullough. Come on, brain work. Krista McCullough, I think her name was. And she was a teacher. It was the first time a teacher had ever went into space like that. And so the teachers were all upset because it was a big deal to them. Yeah, it was always some serious shit when they rolled a TV into the classroom. It was either that or we were watching the letter people. So, or it was close to a holiday and we were watching a movie, which was cool as shit because we'd sit there and color pictures. We didn't have to do any schoolwork. We'd color pictures and we'd watch like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer if it was close to Christmas, or It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, because it was Halloween time or something. You know what I mean? Those were the days, you guys. Those were such good, fun days. I would give anything to have those times back. Every now and then. Of course, I don't want the times back where I was sent to the principal's office and got my ass paddled because I was a smartass in class and wouldn't stay in my seat. So, there's that too. Those times all came along with it, for me at least, because I was a very hyperactive child because I have ADHD still as an adult. And they didn't know what it was back then. They just said it was bad. So, I even had a teacher one time, guys. I'm just rambling on until we get some more people in here. Give you guys a little entertainment. So I think I was in fourth grade. I had a teacher named Mrs. Terry. Tiny little teacher. I swear to God, she was a tiny little black woman. Very sweet, very soft spoken. She had to have been probably in her early 40s or late 30s. Okay, I mean, I think they should in some senses, Becca. I really do. As long as they do it accordingly and, they're safe with it. You don't need to use excessive force because I had a principal that did that. His name was Mr. Haniak. Let me finish my other thought first. So, anyway, Mrs. Terry, tiny little thing. She probably weighed 89 pounds soaking wet at early 40s, I'd say. And I would never stay in my seat. I was constantly getting up to the pencil sharpener, or I had to go to the bathroom, or I had to do this. I just got your message on Twitter. Okay. All right, Cece. Thank you, hon. And so this woman, she would tell me repeatedly and over. I would get phone calls home to my mom. I would go to the principal's office. He'd yell at me, and then he'd paddle me occasionally. I mean, it was just nonstop. And the whole thing is if anybody knows anything about ADHD, I couldn't stay in my seat. I couldn't sit still. No matter if I would sit still, I remember this. If I would try to stay in my seat, I'd sit there at my desk, and my legs would be jerking and moving like they still do, tapping my hands like they still do, looking around trying to talk to people, and they're telling me shut up, like I still do. Um, and so this woman went and took, I think it's called crepe paper, the rolls of crepe paper that they usually use to decorate classrooms for different things, right? That is not child abuse, my friend. There's a difference in that. She tied me to the chair with crepe paper. Obviously, it wasn't going to hold me. I mean, I was a little kid. I was small, but like all I had to do was move or flex the wrong way and it would rip the paper. But that was the whole point. She said, if you tear that paper in one spot, you're going to Haniak's office. Meaning, I was getting my ass beat. Now, here's the difference. I had two different principals at two different schools, right? What the hell was his name? He had a big thing on his forehead, on his head, a big lump. Mr. Ghirardelli. Ghirardelli was his name. He was about 3'5", about the size of a beach ball. He reminds me of the penguin, but he had a big knot on his head, some kind of growth or something. Very nice guy, okay? And he had, those little things that have the ball attached to them with the rubber band? That was his paddle. From kindergarten to sixth grade, that was his paddle. And I got spoiled on that. I only got paddled by him once, though. And it was like a joke. Then I went to this other school, and Mr. Haniak was the principal. This dude was like a Romanian god or something, because he was monstrous. He was huge. He looked like he worked out. He wore these tight-ass white shirts that were like, they showed every rip in his arms. Curly, long black hair down to his shoulder. I mean, the female teachers loved him too. Tan, So, and he was just loud. When he talked to you, he was loud. He was very, like, in your face, and he scared the shit out of me constantly. So he had this paddle, no lie. It looked like a cutting board. It was about that long. It was about that thick. And it had 4 to 6 holes drilled through the board, right? I never understood the holes till after I got hit by it, when I got older. So he would have me bend over and hold on to a table that was pushed against the wall, thank God, because otherwise I'd have went flying through the wall. He would stand there behind me, and he would count to 3 in his head. I'm imagining he'd swing back, come forward, line it up with my rear end, back up. There was only one paddle, and whack, and it took the air out of my lungs immediately. And I'm standing there squeezing my ass cheeks together, doing that. That shit hurt. It stung like hell, and it was because of those holes. It broke down the wind resistance, so there was more of an impact when it hit me. I got that 3, 4 times before I finally got the idea that yeah, I'm gonna stop screwing up. Good morning, Miss Debs. How are ya? And the warrior is in the house. Hey, Dago. Wanted to let you know I seen the way people talked to you last night. People need to learn respect. Barbie is a sick girl. Has been for a long time. Oh, you mean over there in Tic Tac stream? Yeah, I gave them a piece of my mind. If you didn't see that, I've had it. I'm done with it. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna continue to be nice to you guys, treat you guys with respect. All of you that are here in my family, I have nothing but angst towards any of those people, and not one good word for any of them, and that's the way it's gonna continue to be. I snapped last night and said things I never say. I've had it. I've completely had it. I was watching, quiet. I just jumped in to watch for a little bit because I was bored. I was getting ready to go to bed. I was just watching, just to see, what was going on. I figured they'd be talking about Bill Dings, the Strangler, whatever, and that's what I was kind of curious about. So I was just watching out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever. Dago this, Dago that, Dago this, Dago that. Fucking drunk ass faux pas sitting over there with his weak ass bullshit self. It's and for those of you that are new in here, I apologize for this little rant I'm having right now. I am gonna be here for as long as I'm gonna be here, Morty. I'll be here as long as you want me to be here, hun. If you want me to be live, I'm gonna be here for a while, at least couple hours, I would say. But yeah, I went off last night, and I really I felt some kind of a pressure released from inside my chest. I'm sick of all of them. Jabba the Putz, um, uh, Flippy fucking faux pas and his weird ass self, Tic Tac, the Kevlar Queen, Cotty Wapple, all of them. I'm done with all of them. Oh, honey, you have no idea the mess that those people over there cause. And unfortunately, hopefully, I hope you don't have to see too much of it. But there is a little drama that is included over here on this side of things, unfortunately, and it's all because of that group of people over there. But yeah, they were just going on, and I'm so stupid, and I don't know this, and I don't know that, and like I was surprised. It was all me. They said Rachel's name once, didn't even mention Popper. Said one thing about Morty, but it was nothing bad. They just screwballed me all night. I'll be back. I'm getting yelled at to get off my phone. Okay, Miss Morty. I heard theocracy still allowed the speaking skill. Okay. All right, hon. I'll be here. And what's up, Hammer? How are you? I thought you changed your name, bro. Buy me a present, Morty. Yeah. So anyway, I went off. I called them things. I said dumb shit. I was so irritated. For the first time, they actually got under my skin. I mean, they've got under my skin before, but they really did last night. Just hearing their voices was making my skin crawl. And I listened for about 6, 7 minutes, and it just something happened. And I'm ashamed of myself because I don't act that way. It's kind of childish. A switch flipped inside my brain, and I snapped, and I was typing like a madman. I still wouldn't go up on their stupid ass panel, but I was typing like a madman. I said dumb shit. I said your mom this and your mom like shit high school people would say. I was just so mad, It was so ridiculous. When I was done, it was like one of them things, where you're on a diet and you eat a half a gallon of ice cream, and then all of a sudden you're like, what did I just do? I just had enough of it. I'm tired of listening to fat ass, plug his nose and talk like I supposedly sound, and this. I mean, this is all coming from these rejected losers. They have no room to talk about anybody's faults whatsoever. they're making a comment about my grandkids had come by and they were going up and down the stairs and they were playing around on the stairs. They're 5 and 4. Okay, they're not babies. They're 5 and 4. And my camera view hits the things and they were playing around with each other. And I guess one of them, I seen it in my camera view, but I'm not. Their parents were sitting on the other side of me over here on the couch, so they were watching it. And one of them almost pushed the other one down. So whatever. But like I said, their mother and father were sitting on the couch on the other side of the room here watching them. In fact, said something to them both. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Just little things like that they try to nitpick about, you know. Just anything they could think of, and my because I was talking about my hard drive for all that time, which was irritating. I know it was. Because I didn't know what I was doing, and then they made fun of me because I hadn't figured out the what do you call it? The shit, I can't think right now. Um, when Dan had to help me figure out the subscribers only mode thing. Again, I've never used it that way, so I'm still kind of new at this, you guys. It's only been a few months. It hasn't been a few years. There was that, and just a little bit of everything, you know. And I snapped, and I just went off, and they didn't believe it was me. Miss Dago's fine. She's at work, Edward. They didn't believe it was me. Thank you for asking, though, bud. Oh, Dago don't talk that way. Dago don't act that way. That's not him, is it? No. And then, um, the Leather Queen, she's over there laughing. This is great. She's very slowly but surely turning into one of them. Scooter failed to address that part, or the part how Slob Mob is okay with deviants and criminals until they are not. Oh, no, yeah. Well, he did kind of address that. He said, let me see, how did he put this? He said, he was kicked out because he went and talked behind my back 3 times. That's 3 times more than it should have happened. It had nothing to do with his records. Then why'd you put it on Twitter? Why'd you bring it up? Well, I said that because, he was saying the things he was saying. Okay. Whatever. So anyway, yeah, I did that last night. And then I went to bed, ashamed of myself. It's all good though. Like I said, every now and then, people can only take so much garbage before they explode. I think I've taken quite a bit without saying a damn word. So that was my turn. And of course, the whole time, come up on the panel and do it. I don't know what their fucking fascination with paneling is. I mean, are they so pathetically bored that they have to have people to talk? I mean, I know people don't like to talk to them probably in person, but it is what it is, guys. It is. It is. And I know a lot of stuff they were saying is just to get to me. They must not have thought that I would be listening or whatever. Yeah, Cooter's voice is definitely like scratching a chalkboard. That's why I call her the Kevlar Queen now. That and her skin is made out of Kevlar. Yes, Becca, that's correct. Thank goodness it's only the internet. Yeah, if this was real shit, I don't know what would have been the way it would have been by now, but it's whatever. And you know what the funny thing is I don't usually ever say anything about them. I don't worry about them. They don't sit inside my head. I have nothing that I worry about. It comes to them, but they constantly cannot. It's like they're obsessed with me specifically. They cannot not talk about me. It's pathetic. And I never realized how absolutely pathetic faux pas really was until last night, you guys. It's sad. It really is. He's just a pathetic loser. That period. His biggest claim to fame is doxing people and digging further into their life and trying to ruin their lives. That's his claim to fame. If he's got all this internet and computer knowledge, like, do something with it, dude. Be a positive role model or an established piece of the community or something. Don't be a fucking loser like you are. I mean, give me a break. Let's see. Part-time explorer. Welcome, by the way. Steve should stay say stuff back. I don't think he realizes how many people don't like Steve. Oh, and you know what? That was somebody had asked about that last night. They said that he has nothing. Uh, Vopal had said he has nothing, and Jabba said, yeah, he's not going to say nothing. There's nothing for him to talk about, and he can't deny what he did, whether he denies it or not. I'm sure there's something he could talk about. He probably should say something. Um, and then they tried to, make fun of the fact that Steve was trolling me and Rachel, which we both knew the whole fucking time. I mean, nobody trusts Steve as far as they can throw him. His own people said that last night, or what used to be his own people. Menthols and a case of Natty Light. Okay, they must have everything's out, hon. Like all his court docs and everything is out. His charges, which him and Captain Funko were fighting about on Twitter all day yesterday. It's whatever. Um, Popper, my guess is she always has a heater hanging out of her mouth. Wow, Hammer, that was good. So that was my 2 a.m. excursion. That again, I'm ashamed of it. I'm better than that. I know I am. I was alone. Nobody was there to shut me up or stop me. Damn you guys. You guys were all like being normal people and went to bed. For whatever reason, I couldn't sleep last night and I was up. And there goes my damn phone already. I swear to God, this phone is on some kind of radar. Hold on, guys. Hello. And I'm back. I am so sorry, you guys. Just kind of an important phone call. She calls me every day, usually 3 times a day, um, and we talk about how much we miss each other, and then all the important stuff. There was something going on at her job today, so she's explaining it. So my apologies, you guys. I don't like doing that to you guys. Pooter or polluter cooter looks polluter cooter. Wow, the names you come up with, dude. Looks and sounds like Juno from Beetlejuice. Who who was Juno? Remind me of that one. Thank you, Miss Cece. Yeah, all you guys, my apologies. I hate doing that to you guys, but I can't put her off ever when she calls because one, I really like talking to her, and two, it's just she needs to have that conversation. Sometimes she stresses. Sometimes at work with her job, I told you guys what she did. She's a dialysis technician slash phlebotomist, and um, sometimes she calls me just to vent what's going on there. So Juno is now a man. Who was Juno? No. That Juno is, yes. But he's talking about from Beetlejuice. Like, I didn't know there was a Juno in Beetlejuice. Are you talking about that heavy set dude that was spray painting the X's on the walls, Popper? Was his name Juno? I thought it was something else. Like Ophol or Opha or some weird shit like that. Or Popper Jack, I think they are just playing out some perverted. So yeah, I made a comment about that too last night, Hammer. I was rolling in it. I said a bunch of ignorant stuff that I just don't normally say, and I had it. I had it. I think I called. I said I definitely said something I'd never say, and I was completely ashamed of myself for that one. I threw out the RET word, which I don't like saying, and I called Tic Tac a um, immature hick hop. Wait, what the hell did I call him? It was you stupid ass hick hop reject or something like that. Juno was the caseworker. Ah, got you. Okay. I didn't know that was her name, guys. You guys are pretty like into that movie. That's cool. Barbie girl is trouble. Know her from Boyd and not a fan. Yeah, I didn't deal with her at all. I was just watching, and then at the end of their stream, it was at the end when I started watching. They were done with everything. Must have got bored and said, "Hey, let's fuck with Dago." And whether or not their radar went off that I was in there, I wasn't gonna say a word. I was gonna do what I always do and just listen to the insults. And like I said, it was like somebody turned a light switch on, and I just started typing like madman. It was crazy, throwing out all sorts of insults and MF for this and that. Like I said, I was ashamed of myself, you guys, but whatever. Got to do what I got to do sometimes. I mean, I got out some frustration for a while, so you know. And they were all in there too. The thing is, the people that I do dislike the most, you know, Jabba and Fupu and Cotty and Tic Tac, and it all came out. So anyway, moving right along, everybody. So yes, please tell me how ashamed of me you guys are for my little outburst last night. You know, I came out and said it. And again, they were all trying to taunt me up onto their stupid panel because they have some obsession with people talking live to them about it. So it's whatever. I like that strike. Don't let them get to you. They're just warm shit on a summer day. That's good. I'm gonna use that if you don't mind. I kind of like that phrasing. So anyway, I got better things to do than worry about them anyway. Um, More important things in my life, you know. It just happened. I won't let it happen again. I promise. So, anyways, what's everybody up to today? How's everybody's day going? What's going on? What's new? Did Brandy ever come in here? She makes me nervous because she's usually like the first person to come in here. And what's this all about? Um, if she hasn't been able to, Miss Heather's here. I saw her. Dago or yeah, Dago. Popper's here. I wonder when will that Paul guy join them. Funny how he appeared to come and take 750 down. And he says that was him. Well, yeah, Take Back was Paul Zaborski, I think his last name was. Tic Tac, whatever. It's kind of funny because yeah, and then this idiot pretended like he's so pathetic. He made the stupid ass Dear Nikki or Dear Nikki song that he made, right? And Isaac said, "When am I going to get a Dear Isaac song or something like that?" Okay, and it was so funny because you could tell that Tic Tac is waning for attention, right? And it was just a whole. He'd already had it made, and they're waiting and all that fun stuff. So it was just again, it was just another a remake of the same song. He just changed the words out in it. So thanks for the sub, bro. Toddler sitting, getting too old for this stuff. Oh yeah, how old is she, Michelle? Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. Strike. You know, it's really vulgar too. I was kind of, I thought he at least was better than that, but obviously not. Is that his actual account there, you guys? That take back account? Are you mods? Yeah, all he did, Warrior, was just redo it. Now, do whatever you want with him, Dan, or whoever else. I don't care. Trash him, dangle him, run him over with your car or your train. Use the train. That'd be better. Alright, so I think we pretty much have everybody that we're gonna have. Oh, that's what I was checking for. Just 1 second. Let me go look at something here. She's been taking naps. Yeah, she's probably tired. Getting up with the little ones and getting them ready for school, and she stays up a lot at night with the littler one. By the way, OBS call. Hell no. What's that mean? OBS. Hey, you mean like the stream service OBS? Is that what you're talking about? You gotta explain that one, buddy. I don't. I'm lost. Nobody does, Edward. And those are nicer ways to put it. What do you mean, Dan? OBS call. Hell no. I think I'm missing something. Yeah, it is. Definitely is, Edward. I agree with you on that one, 100%. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to do two things at once. My apologies. Mm, why Dago not included? Why is that, Tic Tac? You mad now? Mm? You mad at me now because I stood up for myself for a change against you idiots? Yeah, good luck with that one. Oh, I must not be included now because they must be mad at me because I actually stood up for myself. Yeah, see? That's what I figured. Such a child. I was mean to them. You see the mentality, you guys? That's what's sad. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm never outrightly mean at anybody. So what he and the rest of his loser crew expects is that you're just supposed to sit and listen to them downgrade you and talk about your children and your wives and or whatever and this and that and your character and all of that, and you're just supposed to sit and take that and not say anything back or respond to them. It's kind of pathetic. So it's all good. I wouldn't want to be included in that kind of a situation anyway because I am definitely more than happy that with. Yeah, I was mean to him, Becca. As a bad boy. So sad. I didn't know it was gonna make him have a cry fit like this, but it's whatever. It's all good. Yeah, I will never, and I mean never, take this word, take these words 100% for what they are. Michelle, my apologies for you having to endure this today in here. It does happen in any platform from time to time. Unfortunately, my apologies on this one, but um, I will never, and I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if they all put preacher collars on and praise God and praise me or whatever. I will never, and I mean never, in my lifetime, do anything remotely close to being squashing anything with them. So they can stay on their side of the world and I'll stay on my side. I have no room in my life for trash. I never have and I never will. So that's what I got to say about that. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's not like this in here hardly ever, but it just so happens that they did their little thing last night. Their hell gathering, whatever you want to call it, got bored. Most of them were high, and one or two of them were drunk, so they all just had their blast and at my expense, as always. So I just got sick of hearing it. Tired of being Mr. Nice Guy all the time. 'Cause I'm starting to think that the nicer I am, to regardless of the situation, I think that it just makes them do it more. So be it. But yes, thank you for your understanding, and again, my apologies. You know who they remind me of, truthfully, Michelle? I know you follow Doug. You know that that idiot over there in the true crime side of things. What the hell is it? Benny Keys. That's who they remind me of. Is the way that they present themselves, a lot like him. Um, I'm definitely not a fan of his, and that's exactly who they remind me of. Just kind of giving you a reference to go by. You know what I mean? That holier than thou, and then they pretend like, right. I'm sure you understand now. Those are the kind of people they are, and they do that holier than thou. We don't do nothing wrong. I don't understand why nobody likes us. That kind of thing. It's pathetic. Well, that's good to know, Edward. He probably does. It's going around pretty good again. So, anyways, what's up, pedals? Welcome. Good to have you. Good to see you. How you been? Thanks so much for jumping in here. So anyway, let's move on now. Wait and see if any of the other rude crew was going to pop in and say anything ignorant. Alrighty, where are we at now? Since I don't know what I'm talking about at the time. Yeah, right. My sister's had it 3 times. 3 times, and she refuses, and I don't understand why. Well, I do know why. Her husband won't. Her husband doesn't want to do it, so she won't do it. It's that kind of scenario, but she refuses to get the vaccination. And it's like, okay. Although since that was when she was working at the hospital, still she left that job and she works with my wife now. And knock on wood, she hasn't had it since. I don't think. Or she did have it one other time. That was where the third time came from. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. And I told her, I said, I don't think you'd be as able to get it if you would get that vaccination. She just doesn't want to do it. And it's like, okay, well, I can't argue with people that don't get it. That's everybody's own choice to do. And like I said, I can't argue with anybody that doesn't want to get it. My wife got it, and because of where she worked at, I went and got it just because. And then my son got it through the school. They gave it to all the kids in the school. My mom and dad got it, and then all of our kids got it. We all did it all around the same time. Um, and then I got the second shot. Yeah, I still have to get the booster for it though. I think everybody else is up to date on everything except for me and two of my sons have to get the booster still because they weren't offering it. I had COVID after getting vaccinated in last November on my birthday. Kind of sad, but it is what it is. And Thanksgiving, and so I carried it for a good 3 weeks. It was rough, but so they told me to wait 90 days from having COVID before I got the booster. Well, I did, and then it just kind of faded away. And then I did talk to the pharmacy here, and they didn't have. I wasn't about to mix them because I had the first one that was released as my first two shots. They didn't have that in the booster. They had another one, and I'm definitely not getting the Johnson and Johnson version of it at all. So that's what they had, and I was like, "Yep, I guess I'll wait." And then I just kind of forgot about it. So I do need to go look into that and get that one handled and taken care of. So, um, I was going to give you guys a little bit of a since I've been kind of looking at it, and I haven't really thrown it at any of you guys since I've been following the Kylie case and so on and so forth. But there's another one that like I said, I've been kind of looking at it behind the scenes. I haven't really brought it up to you guys, but I don't know if any of you guys seen or heard of the Dylan Rounds case that's going on right now at all. I got you, Hammer. That would have been nice, though, wouldn't it? Something superpowers. Maybe we could fly. Super strength. Squeeze coal and make diamonds or something like that. Yes, you do follow that. Okay, that one is. You know what, you guys? The Kylie Rodney case was definitely it's interesting, and there's still a lot to it, in my opinion. But the Dylan Rounds case is definitely a different kind. Okay. Yeah, I know Doug's been following it. It's a whole different animal. It's kind of weird, and it's so weird to me. For those of you that have been following it, and those of you that haven't, that are regulars in here, I'll catch you up on it. Um, I think I'm going to start doing that one a little bit more, being more involved in it because it's really interesting how uninvolved that law enforcement is in that case. You guys, it's crazy. Like I was watching a bunch of stuff on it this morning. Some of the updates and stuff where I guess Candace, the mother, is like, is my Cash App pink? Are you talking about the ribbon here, hon? Right here in the front, it's or actually in my Cash App. Is that what you're talking about? The colors, or hold on a minute. It may have been. I haven't looked at that in a while. Yes. Yes, I think it will. Or it's not supposed to be. I wonder why it is doing that. It's weird. Oh, I know what happened. It's because of the 1 second. Here, see if this fixes it. There we go. Yeah, it was pink. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Anyway, sorry. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, though. You could have told me about that before, Popper. I didn't realize that. But anyway, so yeah, um, thank you very much, Pedals. I very much appreciate that. The law enforcement has not been involved in that case whatsoever. I think I'm going to change that banner, by the way, you guys, and pin since I know how to work the other side of YouTube now, uh, actually pin it in the chat, and that way it's there the right way instead of this stupid banner that gets in front of my face all the time, which is probably good for you guys. So you don't have to see it, but my name in the app. You, what do you mean? Like in the app itself, it's pink? No. It shows you how technologically dumb I am. It should be green. Yeah, I need to figure out make it into a link and pin it like it's supposed to. So when you go into the app, it's pink. I don't understand that. Why? Thank you, Miss Stacy. Yeah, I'm confused now. That's crazy. Thank you, both of you, I guess you'd say. Thank you to anybody that has donated. I appreciate that so much. Very, very much, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to check on that and see why it is that way and what to do to fix it. That's another thing I need to. I'm trying to set up the call in thing. I don't know how I do that, but that's another thing I'm going to be working on. But anyway, I'm getting off track here, guys. Sorry, you threw me off completely with that whole pink thing. My fault. My apologies. So what you're saying though is if you go into the app and look, if you can pick the color. I'm newer to Cash App, so I don't know much about it. See, it looks green to me. I don't understand that. No, it's okay. Please don't apologize. That's all I see. Like, where do I need to look to? Ah, it is pink. That you mean that? That's weird. Can you change the colors on that? Yes, you can. How do you do that? How do you change the colors? Yeah, I see it there now. Personal favorites. It's gotta be personal. Switch to no. Yes. Well, I'm just learning things left and right. Thank you so much, Petals. And Miss Stacy as well. Thank you again, hon. I'm glad to see you're listening and you're in here today too, also. All right, where are we at here? Edit profile. It's there. No. I don't know. I'll fix it later. It's pink. At least it's noticeable. That's weird, though. I didn't know it was that color for whatever reason. So, going back to the what I was talking about. Yeah, I was watching this morning and I noticed that with that case alone, there is like almost zero. Like, it seems like law enforcement wants nothing to do with it for whatever reason. It's very weird. Um, the parents aren't getting what they need out of it. So well, let me ask you for those of you that are falling at Petals and Michelle, I think it was. Anybody else too? Like, what's your take on this? What do you think the scenario is? Like, who do you think has him, or what do you guys think's going on with him? For those of you that are following it, before I even get into it, I'm just curious. And by the way, I should say this like right off the bat. The panel's open to anybody that wants to jump up here and speak their mind until I can get my call-in number set up. I'm going to run pretty much an open panel when I do this stuff here for you guys to talk about what you want to talk about up here. Just let me know if you want to come up. I'll drop the link and you can roll with it. Okay. And I don't think it's Jim either. I think Ellie wants something to do with that town. They do not like going there for, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was, that's what I took from it too. It seems kind of weird, it's like, why though? Um, and I kind of agree with you on that, Petals, as far as the grain thing. Um, Now, what do you think about the theory that he's being held in? Definitely not Jim. I agree with you, but the theory that he's being held in that other town that I can't say that starts with an M, whatever, Marel or whatever it's called. I'm sorry, guys. Don't need to sound stupid, but that there's a theory that he was being held against as well. Like somebody snatched him and took him to that town, and that's where he's at, being held. What do you think of that theory? Montello, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yes, welcome to all the new peeps that are here again today. Thank you so much for that strike. I don't know why I couldn't say Montello. Makes me automatically think of Montello Williams. Do you think that that's the scenario? I think Kurt has guilty knowledge. Yes, I agree. And it's pushing a different narrative. Yeah, you guys are definitely in this. That's for sure. I agree with you on that one, too. Yeah, I'm kind of ashamed of myself that I hadn't followed it as deeply as I did. It just didn't catch my attention like Kylie did and Summer and Gabby Petito and all that stuff. I mean, I was watching it here and there in the background, but I was kind of concentrating on those. And now, last night, I looked up on a lot of the other details in it that I didn't know, and then I started following it up some more, a little deeper this morning, and dug a little deeper, and it's like, it's definitely an interesting scenario. It really is. The thing that caught my attention mostly from it was that whole thing about the law enforcement thing and the parents asking for them to step down and somebody else to step in, and of course the FBI not being able to do it because it's not considered a federal case right now, which is, I don't understand the jurisdictional thing. That's kind of crazy, but no, really, you guys don't trust Candace. Now that's the one I want to explain that one to me, because I've heard other people say that too. Because that's I want your theory on why.
I consider the matter urgent.
Please do. My other theory is that Candace owes Ed lots of money from semi-restoration. He heard Dylan had money and came for his payment from him. I think Dawn is involved. That makes sense. Considering, so do you think that maybe that was who ransacked the trailer? Don't trust the mom. Gotcha. See, she seemed fairly innocent to me, but then I watched another interview from it was Iowa News or Idaho News. I'm sorry, and something changed about her from one interview to the next, and it was like, what's up with that? That's okay, Kurt. Gotcha. Yeah, because I watched that video where they were showing when they were in there looking at the trailer, and it looked like it was ransacked, and then there was like drag marks on the floor still, and blah blah blah. She's never acted like a mother who was missing her son. I'm not a person who was a fighter, but oh yeah. I got you. Yeah, it seems like the father is more vested in and what's going on with their son, because she doesn't really, the interviews I saw, I'm sorry, let me put it this way, the interviews I saw with her in it, she didn't show the type of emotion I think that you should show when your child's missing like this. It was, at 2 months. First off, the very first interview I saw of her, she's just very calm. She explained everything, very collected. That would not have been my wife nor me. Okay, I don't care if he's 19, if he's 9, if he's 93. We'd have never been that way. I thought that was just us, but lots of people have said the same thing. So then it went, Memorial Day is when he went missing, and then it had been 2 months. They did another interview with her, same thing, just no emotion, very calm, collected. And then the most recent interview, I mean, the only thing she seems to be upset about is that she's not getting her way, that they're not doing what she wants them to do as far as law enforcement and anything else. She doesn't see, it's almost like she knows that he's okay. I put it into those videos. Yeah, agreed on that one, Michelle. And I think Candace's big thing is that she hasn't ever been there for her kids and feels guilty. And that's why she's speaking so loudly. I don't understand her not continuing to search. I'd be out. Well, she says it's because they told her not to. And I agree with you. That's the dumbest shit that I've ever heard. My child, not your child. I don't care what you say. I'm out looking, period. I would have was, and like that right there should have been a spark for her to jump up and go, insane. But nope. She's very calm, collected. That's what I don't understand about her at all. That's why I asked your guys' opinion. Um, it's very strange. This whole thing is strange. Again, I'm used to parents not being interested in what's going on with, Dawn and Candace Hall, or you know who I'm talking about, with Summer Wells, not Hall. Sorry, where the hell did I get Hall from? Dawn and Candace Wells. Um, there's zero interest there either. So, I'm used to that, but this is just weird to me. Um, and who puts their 16-year-old son out in the middle of nowhere with people who are bad and never? Yeah, see, and that was another thing that was brought up, and she tried to defend it, but she did not do a good job at defending that at all. She said, well, somebody said, said something about just throwing your 16-year-old son out here in the middle of nowhere. We didn't do that. Well, what did you do? Because my 16-year-old son lives with me, and I'm sure as hell not going to throw him however many miles, 50 miles out in the desert, or 30 miles out in the desert alone to live in a fucking camper without going and seeing how he is or making sure he's okay and checking on him. And no. It's almost like she doesn't know how to be a mom. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, and knowing that these people are out here, that's the other part of it. Yeah. Oh, that rumor about him having a relationship with somebody out there. Again, I'm on the same page as you with that. Yes, you guys are definitely into this. That's for sure. Good. Um, like I said, the rest of you guys, I will catch you up on it because it's something you're probably going to hear about now. Because, like I said, I wasn't paying that much attention to it. I was watching little bits and pieces of it. It's got my full attention now. It's a weird one for sure, definitely. And I'll say this much, you guys. I definitely don't get the feeling that he's no longer with us anymore, as far as Dylan goes. I still think he's 100% alive. I think he's probably safe somewhere. He's okay. But I definitely don't get that feeling. Now, with Summer, I immediately had a feeling of dread that she was no longer with us. And kind of with Kylie as well. Yeah, that's true as well, Michelle. I've always told my children that. I always told them, if that's the choice you make in your life, you're still my child. I still love you no matter what. their choices. So you think that they, as parents or just her, would have a problem with them that being the case? I know she denied it completely and said, "You can ask anybody that knows him and they'll laugh at you. Why?" Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's a fact, pedals. It depends on where you know, some places it just you can't do it, you know, and they're maybe where they're at, it's like that, or maybe the way Michelle was read or raised, it's like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's all very possible, very very possible. Well, I appreciate your guys' input, and please, anything else you have on it, let's talk about it. Again, thank you guys for those of you that donated. I much appreciate that. You have no idea. I mean, so much. Definitely, definitely helps. I just had to pay the StreamYard yesterday, so that's going to replace that. We're good on that, and I'm very very grateful, you guys. Very grateful. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get this number thing set up soon, you guys, because I'd love to have you guys call in so that we can talk about this. Because I really want to. So if anybody knows anything about doing that, send me in the right direction so I can get it rolling. Do you think? Um, do you guys think that the mother is against it? Grandpa bought the church, or Grandpa bought the farm. Oh, you just do it over your own phone, or would I have to plug my phone into my PC? I think I would have to plug my phone in through that so it could roll through it. Um, where are we at? Grandpa bought the farm. He knew the people there. He is in the LDS church. Makes me nervous thinking that is why they put. Oh, Michelle. That makes perfect sense. I never thought of that. Ding, ding, ding. Wake up, Dago. Yep, yep. That does make sense. Yeah, I'm going to get this rolling ASAP, you guys. Get a phone number app for the call in, and that's it. I could do that for sure. Google number or anything for that matter. Hmm. I really didn't think of that, Michelle. That's you're on that for sure. For sure. Wow. That was from June 8th. Let me go back and give these people a little bit. Like Dave talking about a place where they trying to reprogram gay children. Oh my God. Yep. 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 That would make perfect sense. But he's not a child anymore, you guys. He's 19, almost 20 years old. You'd think that, but oh, there are 100% pedals. I've seen and heard of them. Absolutely. People still do that kind of thing to try to fix their quote unquote problem children. All right. So for the people that aren't up on it, let me find it here. I'm going to give you guys just a little taste, give you guys a little catch you up on what it is. Heather and all the rest of you guys that were not following it because of me. That's my fault. Give me 1 second here, you guys. I'll show you a quick couple news feeds on it, and we'll just move from there. And the mother got mad at the PI Jim for finding all the information he found and learned. Yeah, yeah, I saw that, and that seemed just a bit strange to me as well. Um, I think they caught him with his friend RJ. You guys got it. I need not to say a word. Not to say a word. You guys got it. All right, here. All right, guys. For those of you that are not familiar, I'm going to give you this couple clips here for you to watch to kind of get you caught up on it so you know what everybody's talking about because I feel bad you don't.
Hughes, host of News Nation Prime, and tonight we're going to be taking a closer look at the disappearance of a young man named Dylan Rounds. He is from Utah, and he vanished Memorial Day weekend. And in a moment...
And for you two, I know you've already seen this stuff, probably. My apologies. Just bear with me till I can get them caught up real quick, and then I just don't want them to feel left out, so shouldn't take too long here.
You were going to hear from Dylan's mom, detailing the last conversation that she had with her son and also the strange circumstances surrounding his disappearance. I'm also going to be talking with a private investigator about this case, so be ready with your questions that you might have as you watch this story, your comments as well. We want you to be part of the conversation. We chose to focus on Dylan's story this week because so many of you reached out to us online on social media, and most of the cases we cover come from the public. And since last fall, our team has traveled the country talking to families and law enforcement on these cases with a mission to bring these missing cases into the spotlight. Here is a quick look at our series and some of the cases that we have covered.
I don't think she's in the water. I think they're looking in the wrong place. Do you believe that Michael is alive? I know in my heart he's alive.
All right, guys, 1 second.
I believe I got my son back. I let my daughter dismiss her.
Come on.
It's a puzzle, and there are key pieces that are missing. I don't feel like it. I feel like somebody had them.
I get them no matter how long it takes, how hard it's going to be. I won't give up. I will never give up.
Come on.
One of the things that we say here at News Nation Prime, really since the beginning of launching this series, is that every single one of these missing people matters. They have family and friends who care about them, who want answers, who want to know where they are, and they want them home safely. So whether it is young or old, black or white, man or woman, whether you're in California, Montana, Texas, Utah in this case, or anywhere along the East Coast, we have sent our teams all across the country to capture these cases, talk to the people involved, and try to uncover some details. And you play such an important role in that because you share it online. And the more people that are talking about these missing people, the more we get their faces out there. Maybe someone recognizes them, maybe someone knows something. That brings us to Dylan's case tonight. And we are partnering with our local News Nation station, ABC4 in Salt Lake City, and reporter Marcos Ortiz. And Marcos is going to be joining us live tonight with some additional information into this investigation of Dylan's disappearance and also his conversation with Dylan's mom. But first, here's a closer look at the case.
This began on Monday, May 30th, Memorial Day, when we figured out a couple people, nobody had heard from my son for a couple days.
For the past year, this is where Dylan Rounds called home. It's along the Nevada-Utah border in Box Elder County. Dylan's mother said his dream was to start up his own farm, and this spring, he started from scratch.
Dylan's been working on this farm out in Lucin, Utah, his own farm, on getting the ground tore out and and getting it prepared for a crop. This year was going to be his first crop. So that farm was his whole life.
He lived in this camper, and when no one heard from him on Memorial Day weekend, his Idaho family traveled to his farm. It was abandoned.
We've been searching. We've been looking everywhere. Search and rescue came out on Monday, May 30th. They were out there in the afternoon, and that first afternoon, we located his boots.
His mother said the boots were a short distance away from his RV camper, and it's the only pair he owns.
At that point, it should have been treated as foul play. I mean, you just don't find somebody's boots in the desert that's missing.
On the Box Elder County Sheriff's Facebook page, they consider it a missing persons case. They've received tips and continue to search the Lucin area. The sheriff post said his pickup truck was found on the property and believed he was on foot. His mother said despite recent rains before his disappearance, it appeared not to have been moved, raising more suspicions.
It's like it never moved in the rain, like he never took it anywhere on Saturday, like they originally thought.
Wednesday, before he was last seen in the town of nearby Lucin, he told his mother of a man walking barefoot along the road.
He said, "Mom, you'll never believe what happened to me. This guy jumped out of the desert. He was bloody. He didn't have shoes on. He wanted a ride. I didn't give him a ride."
The family learned of the man, but she says he doesn't believe he's connected after talking with him. She's uncertain if authorities feel likewise. Search and rescue units from both Box Elder County and nearby Nevada have continued to search the area, but there's still no sign of Dylan.
He was so excited when I talked to him Thursday. He says, "Mom, my grain's growing. It's coming up. I'm going to get a crop this year." I just ecstatic, high on the world about it, and then just vanished. Nothing, not a trace.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Marcos
This is
go ahead,
that's
Marcos.
somewhat of a mystery right now. This is somewhat of a mystery right now here in the Utah area because he was basically doing what he wanted to do all his life, and that was to farm. And he was doing that when he just suddenly vanished on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I mean, living out his dream. Marcos, something stood out to me watching your piece, and I've seen it now several times and been reading a lot about it. That mysterious man who was in the desert, covered in blood, that at one point Dylan ran into. Mom says they don't believe he's the suspect or person of interest. What are police saying about that person? And has that person shed any light on this case, on his whereabouts, and what he may have seen?
Well, Marty, he was actually booked into jail and questioned about that very same thing. But before that, he volunteered a phone call to the mother of Dylan and basically said that I have not seen him. I don't know anything about him. He was not in the area. And according to his mom, she basically cleared him. What police are saying about it, they're not saying anything about it. But of course, he had a warrant for his arrest in Montana. That's why he was originally booked in jail. But as far as Dylan's mother, she doesn't believe he had anything to do with it.
Got it. I want to welcome people online to jump into the conversation. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you post them below as we continue to talk to Marcus, and then in a moment, a private investigator will be joining me. Marcus, I know that you spoke extensively to Dylan's mom, and there's a piece of sound that I'd like to play that wasn't part of the piece when she talks about his boots and some of the other things that were strange around his property. Let's take a listen.
We gave him everything. We had the crazy phone calls that Dylan was being held hostage. We had all of this stuff that added up to something's wrong. Something is seriously wrong. And it's June 15th. 17 days later is when they come out and say they're going to treat it criminally. And they can tell me behind the background they were treating it that way from the beginning all they want. But it's a bunch of lies, because if you were, the pickup wouldn't have left. The boots wouldn't have sat in the back of an SUV and not been sent to the lab until the 6th. Dylan's brother's DNA would have been collected immediately, so we had something to match Dylan to. None of that kind of stuff was done. Nothing was fingerprinted. Nothing was even looked at. So don't tell me from day number 3 you were treating it criminal and as a homicide, and that's exactly what the sheriff told me.
So obviously, Marcos, the mom is pretty frustrated that all of this time has passed. Can you elaborate a
No
little bit
emotion,
more
though.
on her concerns and the communication going on between her and law enforcement to find Dylan?
Well, right after Memorial Day weekend, when they actually went to that area, to his farm, they went there. Everything was gone. He was abandoned. They couldn't find his wallet. They couldn't find his cell phone, and they didn't think the picture was right. They were worried right from the very outset. They tried to convince the law enforcement in Box Elder County that this is more than just a missing person. They labeled it a missing person at the very beginning, but she says that their search was lukewarm. They came out, they had a look-see, things of that nature, but there was no active investigation going on. As you said there in that, as she said there in that soundbite, it was a couple of weeks later when they finally labeled it a criminal investigation. But she says, that was like 14 days later, 14 days lost during that time when they didn't take it seriously, according to this mother.
What was the deciding factor, Marcos, for investigators to label it criminal potentially?
Boy, I asked that to the mother as well, too, and she didn't have an answer to that, but she believes that it's the attention from the media that is reported on that here, both in Salt Lake City as well as Nevada and Idaho, I should point out, because the family is from Idaho. It's all that media attention that is putting pressure on law enforcement, and she believes that that's the reason why, they're starting to take this more seriously.
The other thing, and we've got some people chiming in online, Marcos, they're curious about this rural area of Utah near the Nevada border. Can you give us an idea of what it's like out there, what's around Dylan's farm?
Yeah, sure. It's 200 miles from Salt Lake City, northwest of Salt Lake City.
Well,
if you look on the map, it's right on the border of Nevada and Utah. In the middle of nowhere. It's in the northwest corner of Utah. It's just barren desert area, but there's small ranching communities out in that location. The nearest town, or nearest, I don't know if you want to call it a town, it's called Lucin, Utah, and it's just a small little village, just a gas and go, and that's pretty much it in that community. Everybody hangs out at that gas and go, and that's it. Nevada, there's a community about 20 miles just on the other side of the border, but it's just in a remote area right now in Utah, and it's just hard to say what happened to him.
Finally, Marcos, I want to play another clip from your interview with Mom, and it really focuses on Dylan, who he is, his dreams, his future, his plans for that remote area of Utah. Take a listen.
I mean, he dropped out of high school to pursue the dream of having his own farm. That is his everything. He didn't walk. He was so excited when I talked to him Thursday. He says, "Mom, my grain's growing. It's coming up. I'm going to get a crop this year." I just ecstatic, high on the world about it, and then just vanished.
Just vanished, but he had his whole life ahead of him. He was out there doing what he loved. Talk more about Dylan, who he was, what his mom shared with you.
If you buy generic Viagra in CVS or Walgreens, you need to watch this. A single 100 milligram generic Viagra tablet.
And that's pretty amazing, think about it, a 19-year-old, and this is what he wants to do right out of high school. He wants to farm. I mean, that's a dying industry here in America, but yet Dylan Rounds wanted to pursue that, and he was set out to do that. He got some land from his grandfather. His grandparents live in that area as well, too, and he has a small little RV camper trailer and a pickup truck, and he was living out of there, out of that the RV camper, and he was making a go of this farm, and that just reflects on who Dylan Rounds was. His mother says that he was a very stable young man, and there are rumors out there that perhaps he committed suicide. His mother says no, that's the farthest thing from the truth. There's no way that he would have done that, because he had so much going for him in his life at that time, and right now it's a criminal investigation. His mother thinks something bad's happened to him.
Yeah, well, and it stands out to me, Marcos, that he was excited about his first crop, and seeing the fruits of his labor on that farm. Let's just hope that providing more insight into this case gets to the right people tonight, because somebody knows something. Marcos Ortiz from our sister station KTVX in Salt Lake City. Marcos, great reporting. We'll be staying in touch for updates on this case. Thank you very much. I want to bring in private investigator now, Jason Jensen. We have worked with him on a lot of our missing cases. He has incredible insight, not just into missing person cases and how to investigate them, but also this region of Utah. Jason, great to see you. Let's start right there. You heard Marcos talking about this remote region of northwestern Utah. What do you know about that area?
Well, like Marcos was explaining, it's very desolate. I mean, if you had a picture in your mind of what the desert's like, you know, flat, arid, no vegetation, that's exactly the kind of environment we're talking about. And being there on the border between Nevada and Utah, there's really nothing there. Oftentimes, you know, that's portrayed or characterized as the salt flats, where people do racing because it's just flat, barren, oftentimes, you know, just a wasteland.
Jason, I want to play a little bit more of Marcos's interview with Dylan's mom, in particular talking about some of what is now evidence in this case of a criminal investigation, some of the things that stood out to her early on when her son went missing, and then I'll get your thoughts.
Sure. We started noticing things that were just off. Dylan's pickup, it rained a whole bunch in the desert that week, or that weekend, Saturday particularly. There was no tracks, there was no pickup tracks, there was no boot tracks, there was nothing. It's like nobody had been around there at all. If Dylan would have been around that day, around his pickup truck, around his camp trailer, there would have been prints. And then because of the mud, and then the pickup had left no tracks, no trace of it being in the mud. It's been pressure washed clean, the tires are clean. It just, there's no way if he was out doing what he was doing, he would have a clean pickup. It's like it never moved in the rain. Like he never took it anywhere on Saturday, like they originally thought.
What stands out to you, Jason, about what the mom is sharing and what she saw out there?
Well, what we do know is that day that he was last on the phone with his grandmother on the 28th, it was raining. So he said, I have to go, you know, get my seat indoors so it's not, you know, going to get ruined. So what that means is anyone that's familiar with the desert knows firsthand that when it's raining, it's going to be splashing mud like crazy. So there should be all sorts of, you know, splatter of you know, diluted mud on the sides of the truck. And what she's describing is it seems like it was cleaned. So it's my understanding that he had a pressure washer there on site. So somebody cleaned off this truck and then erased any evidence that there was any footprints or tire marks in the soil. So that's very troubling. It's like somebody was concealing that there was any activity there.
Wow, that is concerning. Just made the hair on my arm stand up, that there would be a potential cover-up of a crime here. I'd be interested in what police have to say about that. As a PI who you've looked into lots of these cases, Jason, where would you be focusing your efforts? Who would you be questioning right now?
Well, what's interesting is that, you know, Candace Cooley, Dylan's mom, excluded the guy that was, you know, had this really scary kind of description of having blood on him, and that she dismissed him because he reached out to her and explained he hadn't seen her, and, you know, pretty well puts on a good facade that he's an innocent person trying to help. But you have to ask yourself, is he trying to throw any suspicion off by initiating that call rather than somebody calling him out of the blue saying, hey, you're one of the last people that, you know, that there's text messages between you and Dylan, what's going on? So if somebody reaches out, you know, it's really because they're innocent or they're trying to throw off any trail that leads to them.
Jason, pardon me, go ahead.
No, so that would be my first concern. But if law enforcement has ruled him out, then you want to look elsewhere. Where was he at last? Who may have followed him home? You know, we do know that he doesn't really have any neighbors, but we do know that on the 26th, he had eaten at the Saddle Sore Bar there in Montello, Nevada. So did he get in a conversation about, his high hopes and his expectations of his crop? Did somebody follow him there, or did he take them with, maybe a branch hand that's going to help him with the farm?
I think his parents have it now,
Did
Linda.
this farm hand decide that they were going to try and rob the guy? Who knows? So I'd be interested to find out from the people that last saw him at the Saddle Sore Saloon if he was engaged in conversation with anybody. And I'm sure he's a regular there because there's not too many places to go out to eat.
Right. Well, the other thing would be a digital trail, right? Like, where is his cell phone right now? What was the last call that he made? Have they pinged it on some local towers in the area? That seems like that would be key as well.
No, especially since his phone is missing as well. So it wasn't left at his home where he was last likely to be. His wallet's gone, his phone's gone. So either he has those items with him on his person, if he's alive and well somewhere, or if he's the victim of foul play, it's entirely possible that the bad guy has those items. So ping the phone, find out where the phone's at.
Yeah, well, one of the most peculiar things to me, Jason, is his boots. His mom said it was the only pair of boots that he owned. He's out there on the farm. If he had walked away, he wouldn't have walked away barefoot, and so these boots were found. People online are picking up on that as well. Terry on Facebook is asking about the boots and blood that was found on one of the boots. That must be a critical piece of information. She's asking, whose blood was it? That can't be difficult to determine, right?
It wouldn't be, but what we don't know yet is if indeed it is blood. It can be a stain of some kind. It could be animal blood. It could be, since this is his only pair of boots, it could be a number of different things occurring at any particular time as long as he's owned these particular boots. So from what we know from Candace is he gets this same brand. He only has one pair each time. He wears them out. He gets the same brand next time. So if this is his only pair of boots, why are they left at his home? If his wallet's gone and he's gone, and why would he take off without his boots? So it seems to be a clue that he's a victim of some kind of foul play, because why would his truck be there, his wallet and his phone be gone, but not his person not be there? So that's a little strange.
None of it adds up. Jason, walk us through how a team of investigators from different law enforcement departments will work together on a case like this to kind of comb the area, because it is such a wide and desolate area. You've got the Sheriff's Department in Box Elder County, you've got local authorities. Now we're hearing the FBI is involved. How do they handle an investigation like this and conduct a search?
Well, typically what happens in this scenario, especially, specific to Dylan's situation, is since he resides on the border, you got on the east side, the Utah law enforcement, which is the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office, and then on the Nevada side, you got the Elko County Sheriff's Office. They're both there as boots on the ground. If there's any reason to follow up or do interviews, that's what they're there for. And then now, thank goodness the FBI is involved, because now they have all that digital resources available to them where they can access tower data and find out, where the phone was last used for texting or for a phone call. Where did it last register geographically on a tower to show its last location? All that's going to become instrumental, and oftentimes they'll just refer that data to one law enforcement or the other to go out and check out, and do a search in those areas.
We've got another question coming in from Tommy online, and he's asking about credit card activity, any activity on his bank accounts. How would investigating that element, if he is on the run somewhere, using those types of things, going to a gas station, if anyone had picked him up, how would they investigate those possibilities?
Then that's another useful tool for the FBI. Frequently, other than the digital evidence, they also look for any bank activity. If he's alive and well, and he's, like, say he's down in Las Vegas hooping it up and he's using his debit card, they would know that just simply by accessing his financial institution records and seeing that he's active. Otherwise, they will take the trail of his last activities as a starting point. It's like, oh, it looks like he purchased gas in Montello. So, it is at the same time frame that while he was there at the South bar, that will kind of give him an idea that, okay, he gassed up. So then you might want to go check out his truck to see if it had a full tank. And if it did, that means the truck was driven for an extensive period of time since the last gas up.
No worries,
or
Robin.
the card was used to gas up a different vehicle.
Before I let you go, Jason, time in these cases feels like it just slinks along, and I can't imagine the anguish that a family feels as another day ticks by and they've had no word from their son. In this case, it's Dylan. As you cover these missing person cases, how critical are the early days in something like this? I mean, now it's been almost 4 weeks since Dylan went missing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really critical to try and find anyone that's missing right off the cuff, because let's say it is an accident. Let's say that he, has
and don't forget there was 14 days wasted before anything was even started. So that's kind of key too.
Health issue that needs to be attended to. Speaking of Dylan specifically, he's got no boots on. He's wandering the desert. He's going to dehydrate, and that's a cause of death in just a few days. So you'd want to find him right away and, get him that medical attention that he may be needing. But even if that's not the situation here, let's say he was abducted. Well, eventually someone's either going to release him or they're going to silence him, usually by death, if he can't be trusted to be released and not give them their identity up. So if he's, held hostage somewhere, they're not doing a very good job getting the ransom out, trying to let people know, hey, meet these demands and we'll release Dylan. So that doesn't seem to be the likely scenario either.
Absolutely,
so
Michelle. Absolutely.
Where's Dylan, and when are we going to find him? That's really critical, and we're just seeing weeks click on by.
Yeah, no, it's a process of elimination, and your mind goes to the worst places, but good investigative work is what is needed in every single one of these cases. Jason Jensen, we always appreciate your time and your insight. Thank you, and I know you're going to stay on this case. We'll be checking back in with you. Thank you again, and to all of you who joined us online for this discussion into the disappearance of Dylan Rounds, we thank you as well.
All right, now. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so not like I said, that was okay. Now this is the one. Go ahead and explain the bank thing that you're talking about, Michelle, if you want to. Unless you want to wait for a while. Robin, this is a case that's been going since Memorial Day. I just never really put it out there for you guys because I was too involved in the other ones, and I didn't really want to overload you. But this one's really interesting to me. There's a lot of weird things that are involved in this one that don't make any sense whatsoever, including since Memorial Day, Linda, in May. I forget you're in the UK and you guys don't have the same things we have. Yeah, right. I wanted to show you guys real quick the last place he was seen. I'm just going to give you the general details to kind of catch you up in certain things, so that way you guys kind of get a feel for what anybody else would be talking about. Like I said, it gets real interesting. I do definitely agree that Candace, there's something else going on with her. I don't want to pinpoint or say for sure what I think it is yet. Okay, but there's something else going on with her. I think that the father is clueless to anything she may know. And I think she keeps him that way purposely. That's my opinion, you guys. I'm not saying. I will definitely do that, Michelle. He never has any problem giving me anything. Actually, he told me I could use any of his stuff. So if they were posted on his, again, it's not any of his stuff, that I'm more than welcome to. I try not to do that too often, but But yeah, I do want to see that too. Robin, this was in Oak Hill. I just went brain dead. It's what is it actually considered? Like, which state is it actually considered, Michelle? Because it borders a couple states. Like, who took? See, this is the stuff that I don't know about it. Like, who took like primary precedence on this case initially? Was it Utah or Nevada? It's I know it's on the border, but like, who took? You're okay. Was it Utah that took primary on it, or was it Nevada? I think it was Utah that took primary, Robin. So, and again, you guys, they're not getting the. This is where it's weird for me with the mother, though. They're not getting the. Um, she's saying, or they're both saying, that they're not getting full cooperation with law enforcement, but at the same time, law enforcement saying that they're doing everything they can, as they always do. So I guess it's going to depend on that. But okay, where'd it go? I'll give you guys this piece here. This will give you a little bit more on it. This has the last place that he was seen supposedly, and so on and so forth, and it'll bring us up kind of up to date on this. Yeah, it's very weird. So the whole town, again, just like Kylie's town, is very strange. These towns are weird. They really are, you guys. All right, there's that. And
explain stuff out here. You guys will just have to see it from there, and it'll make more sense because there's honestly no words for it.
This is a missing person, young kid from Idaho who is running a farm out here in the very, very western part of Utah, on the other side of Great Salt Lake. He's got his whole family's from Idaho. He's from Idaho, 19-year-old kid. Bought his grandpa's farm. Some weird stuff's been happening. We'll explain the whole story here in a little bit, but long story short, he called his family about running into some sketchy dude last Wednesday. He went missing on Sunday night. He's gone, his phone's gone, and his wallet's gone. And then when people went out to kind of search for him, a story popped up that the guy that he ran into potentially was in a town called Montello, Nevada, because at the time that he ran into him last Wednesday, the dude asked to use his phone, so he let him use his phone for a second, and then he asked for a ride, and Dylan's like, no, it just kind of like passed on and left him. This dude walking barefoot down the street, he appeared to be like high on something. So anyways, fast forward to Sunday, people are saying this guy went to town to Montello, Nevada, which is about 20 miles east of where Dylan's farm is, and asked about Dylan, and then somebody supposedly gave him a ride to Dylan's trailer at the farm, and then that's the story that they had. But now the story is kind of evolving. Different people. Basically, this area, it's a really weird area. It's west side of the Great Salt Lake, so it's very desolate. It's actually a military operating area. And in fact, if you look here on our flight map, it's all restricted airspace. So all this area right here is what we're going to be flying through. So we had to call up to the Air Force Base here, Hill Air Force Base, and get special clearance to be able to do this. And because general aviation, nobody can enter this airspace. This is all off limits to pretty much everybody. So another interesting component to this is they're actually, the range is live and active today, which means they're out there doing target practice with, jets, helicopters, all sorts of stuff. So we have a very specific flight plan that we have to follow to be able to get out there. But we do have approval, and we're going to be talking with the tower and the range the whole time, kind of letting them know where we're at so we don't get struck by some sort of errant missile or something. But basically, the family's been out there for the last couple of days searching, and this whole area is filled with kind of either ranchers, farmers, or meth heads. It's that's kind of the only people out there. Nearest town is Montello, Nevada, which is maybe like 3 or 4 square blocks. It's not a very big city at all. And then from there, nearest town is Wendover, which is a little like border town right here with Utah, inside Nevada. But the whole area is just full of kind of sketchy people. And apparently, there's a lot of sketchy people that were working on Dylan's farm, working for his grandpa. And then Dylan, when he either bought the farm or took it over, these people, there's just some weird stuff going on there. And there's a potential that they killed him and they buried the body, which is kind of, the worst case scenario here. But we are kind of the only search and rescue operation that has the ability to get out there right now and do it. Nobody else has searched in the air. They've been out there, like I said, on horseback and razors and stuff, searching around. But according to the family who's out there, they say every time either the police or somebody shows up, all these kind of squatters and different people just show up and like start watching and listening. And so even though it's like literally in the middle of nowhere, there's a bunch of people out there just kind of like camping, and like that's the best way to describe it.
She said it's like super weird because she doesn't know where they are or where they're getting information, but they'll all of a sudden show up. And like detectives or police or sheriff show up, like they're all of a sudden there.
Yeah, so it sounds like
watching
a network
somewhere. Yeah,
a network of people, squatters, drug addicts, different people like that are all kind of on the same page, that communicate with each other all the way from the Nevada side of the border into the Utah side of the border. And if this was part of their plan, if they intentionally tried to get rid of Dylan, or Dylan pissed somebody off and there was an argument, they did find his boots on the side of the road, Dylan's boots, and it appeared that he was in some sort of a struggle. Our goal right now is to go out there and locate a backhoe that they could have potentially used to, if somebody did kill Dylan or take him, they could have potentially used this backhoe to bury him. So
backhoe, I think, is out there. They just think that the backhoe may have drove out in the middle of the desert. There's a spot out there that's burial, something. Yeah, so
we're taking some protection with us, just because we don't know what we're going to run into. So if you see guns, that's purely self-defense. We're not going out there to pick a fight with anybody.
That you're using.
Poor kid out there just getting
19 years old. Yeah. A young kid. His mom's like, this was his dream.
Oh yeah, that I knew about Robin.
He worked his whole life, and she's like, well, his young life.
So he didn't date in high school. He didn't worry about going to party. He woke up every morning, went to work on the farm. That's what he wanted to do.
He wanted to be a farmer, and now he has it, and something happened.
We're dealing with very, very little information here, like minimal information. From what we've been hearing, there's definitely potential for some foul play.
COVID-19. Some people get it, and some people can get it bad. And for those who do get it bad, it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, asthma, or smoking. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk...
Sorry, guys.
Don't worry about it, David. I thought of it.
Alright, so we're currently about 10 miles from where we're meeting up with Dylan's family. I'm not sure if this is the actual farm or the ranch where he's working or right nearby it, but from here we're going to be able to touch down, meet with his parents,
and then all the other people who are out here looking for him, and then get a good idea of or a better idea of what happened. And then we're going to pick back up and search the area. This is basically kind of the terrain we're going to be searching. It's kind of like a lake bed. It's kind of like this is a little bit higher than the Bonneville Salt Flats, and then you've got these huge mountain ranges that come up out of it. So I think the ranch or the farm to.
I'm not sure, Michelle. Are you still in here, Pedals?
Lake bed part. So hopefully we don't have to fly too open in the mountains as far as the search form goes. But see what shakes out once we meet up with the family here.
Yep, this is Dave Spark. So.
Hi, I'm Candace. I'm Mom. This is my husband, Mike.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. I'm sorry.
I know, it sucks. We know he's out here.
This was the full sky. There's a
Yeah.
shop up here, and that's where he was supposed to leave from. And behind that shop, that's where we found his boots.
Yeah, we found his boots.
Just his boots.
That's it.
From here. But his campers and pickup and everything was locked up on the other end.
So you see that shop? So that's where Dylan, last we heard from Dylan, he was going into his grain truck, his seed truck, so that it didn't get rained on. That was like 7:30 Saturday morning, and then he said he called Grandma right back, and then she never.
That was Saturday morning.
That was Saturday morning, and so we figured he took off across the desert, walking back to his camper, because that's nothing unusual for him.
How far's his camper from there?
5 miles down this road. Yeah. But for a 19-year-old kid who's out here farming by himself, he's used to having to walk himself around, move equipment. But then later that day when search and rescue got out, we found his boots behind this dirt pile that's straight out back here, about 400 yards from where he left his grain truck. So we're starting to wonder if he was even the one that took his grain truck out there. There's some sketchy stuff because there's really deep ruts where his grain truck was, and it shouldn't have rained that hard already.
Yeah.
Because the rain didn't start till like 6 in the morning.
Okay.
So we don't know if something went on out there. Like I said, that's kind of with your guys' eyes in the sky, watch fresh turned up dirt. I mean, you guys know what to look for. Just any disturbance that shouldn't be there. The desert's pretty much all the same. So
Yeah. So that way we'll find basically just a trailer.
a camp trailer, you'll see the pivot, his pickup. There's all kinds of equipment. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's all of his stuff's out there. Right through that dirt pile.
Oh, yeah.
His boots were just tossed out right behind that, and there was nothing else around him. Nothing.
Yeah. Were they on the far side of away from the road, so
Yep.
you wouldn't see them from the road? And that's all you guys have found so far?
Yeah, we have nothing else. And they, like I said, search and rescue. They were out here the first night. They got here maybe 5. They didn't even take off and looking until probably 7:30.
Yeah.
Then they bailed, and then they came back maybe 6 hours that day, and then they said we're calling it, and they all left.
Past that over there, you'll see the hill, and that's the last place his phone was pinged. Right. That after.
Right past that shop by the railroad tracks, there's a hill you drop down in. Yeah.
You can see the road goes like that, and right where it makes the bend, that's pinged up.
1541, but it gives a 15.4 mile radius, and the cops.
See, she doesn't not have the emotion. She's not expressing the emotion that a mother whose child is missing should be showing. I'm sorry. She's even calmer than what Candace Wells was. She's just too put together, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's almost like she's got a small, like a knowledge of the fact that he's okay. Therefore, she doesn't have to react that way. It just, I know that sounds dumb, but that's kind of what it's making me think, you guys. It's crazy.
Showed me on the map. So if you draw that circle from the cell phone tower, this is part right on the edge of it, and the rest of the circle Dylan would have no reason, to be at. It's out in the middle of nowhere, so that's where it was.
Is that before or after you're supposed to call grandma back?
That was after.
After.
Yep. Out here, we've been getting so much information from locals, and it's just a circle. It's none of it's been true. Nothing we have chased it.
Where are the squatters at from here then? So just everywhere?
Everywhere, this whole valley.
Is there a few that we're thinking have the most to do with it?
The ones that are right here, the one that lives up here, and the one that was helping him.
The old grumpy guy over here?
The old grumpy guy, and
They
then
were actually working for Dylan. And I don't think they, like taking orders from a 19-year-old to begin with. So. And he's not talking to anybody, not cooperating. He talks.
he talks, but it's just
Doesn't give you much.
no, it's no information.
See what our plan is, and then give us a few hints on where to go, and we spend all day in the wrong place. Right. It's a wild goose chase. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I mean, we have nothing going, law enforcement bailed on us. We're just out here trying to find them. There's no easy way to explain stuff out here. You guys will just have to see it from the air, and it'll make more sense because there's honestly no words for it.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
A whole bunch of us have been down through the wash and back out from
Yeah.
here to the farm. So we covered all this north of here to the tracks and clear back up east of the farm along tracks and then back to this road. So his camper, his truck, all this stuff's still there.
Okay, Miss Robin. No worries. See you soon.
So
To keep up and pick up everything that was this and this.
We'll start by getting up and flying just kind of a big wide circle, kind of just a little bit of a perimeter, basically mountain to mountain, and then just start kind of spiraling, working our way in from there. If he walked, if he did go on his own, then I mean, who knows how far he could have walked. If he didn't go on his own, then obviously he's got a basin somewhere.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Missed too many tabs labeled My New Business. That's a good start, but the real start is registering your.
No. My son will wear the same pair of boots until there is holes in them, and then he will go buy the exact same pair of boots. I have boots from this big up until he decided he didn't like that kind, from size baby 2 to size, I don't know, I think those ones in the living room are 9 and, yeah. And
all exact same boot.
All exact same boot, and I got little decorations tied across them. They all got holes in the side. They got the same side step. He absolutely will not change boots. So.
And those were his most recent ones?
Yep.
Wherever he was going without shoes or boots.
Yeah.
Based off of all that information, your thought is to kind of check for ground disturbances and anything like that?
Yep. Anything you see that looks out of place up there. So there's a backhoe out there that one of the guys in town owns that was doing some groundwork for him, and it's still out there. So
Who did it all? I mean, there's no way to know, huh?
yeah, there's no way to know. And when the rain came in so hard, after, because so I talked to a lady in Salt Lake called me, Dana, her husband and her come out caving all the time. And so she got me the timeline on the rain. She just wanted to give me all the information of everything she's seen out here. And she said, started raining between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't as substantial as a downpour. And then it got really windy, tapered off, and then really started raining hard late in the afternoon and all day Sunday. So the tracks that are made by Dylan's truck, if he was taking it out at 7:30 when he called his grandmother in a panic to get his truck in, or she called him and he said he couldn't talk because she was getting the truck in. Yeah. There's no way that 10-wheeler could have left tracks this deep in the mud. There's no way. So we don't even know if he's the one who actually took the truck. And trust me, he would not get sidetracked and not protect his seat.
Gotcha,
This kid has
Michelle.
been working out here developing this ground since he was 16. It is his pride and joy. He's not
She
getting
may have
seed ruined. I mean,
left for a little while because she's seen all this probably.
we just don't know if he's the one who took it.
And his pickup was locked, super abnormal. He never lost his
Pickup. Never. You can follow his habits to a T. I mean, when you could just look at it and say, no, that Dylan didn't do that. The kid he's a creature of habit, and it doesn't change. He's either got a dark sweatshirt on, even if it's 80 degrees, or he has a quilted flannel on, even if it's 80 degrees. Wranglers, it won't change. You will not find him in anything else. So, and they keep saying, well, could he go out with friends? Could he this? No, not this kid.
Yeah.
He's out here. This is his baby. So, yeah, we're just kind of at a loss. So here's where it got fishy. So, So Dylan, last time I talked to him was Thursday. Last time his dad talked to him was Thursday. It's nothing to go 3 or 4 days without hearing from Dylan when he's planting. But usually the grandma will hear from him, or I'll hear from him, or his dad will, and somebody will. So he may not talk to everybody, but daily he talks to somebody. So Saturday, when Karen didn't hear back from him after putting the truck in, she got a hold of Dawn Sunday morning and said, "Go check Dylan blah blah." They said Don went and checked. He said the campers, or his pickup's locked. We can't tell if his guns are in there. He hasn't been here. So then he went and got Jim, and they went and looked again. So I guess.
So the grandma called Dawn first.
Yeah.
And then Dawn and Jim were the first ones to look.
Yes. And so throughout this, I have Karen thinking back on it, like, did they say anything like, don't worry about it, he'll be fine, everything's good, so she didn't alert me or Justin, his dad. So then Monday comes around and I get a phone call from JD, Dylan's best friend, that says, have you talked to Karen? They're looking for Dylan.
There it is, JD.
And I said, no, I have heard nothing about this. So from Saturday night till we got out here Monday, Dawn and Jim had been supposedly looking for Dylan, and I know the way Karen is, and I know her mind's frazzled now. If they would have told her in her mind, or to her, don't worry about it, he'll be okay. It's Dylan. He's been out here for 3. You just kind of roll with it. But yeah, so for.
Is there a chance that Dawn and Jim were at that shop when Dylan was taking the grain truck over there, and then from there something happened because that's why his boots would be over there?
That's kind of the. Yeah.
That theory, if you follow it, would want to make it look like he was a young kid that just took off on his own, being reckless and wild, but at the same time, make it look like somewhere. Well, I don't know. They would make it look like he locked his truck.
Well, they're trying to point us in the direction of town, and they're not trying to make it look like he took off. They know Dylan well enough. You're never going to pull that off. They're trying to make it look like it's away from here. Nothing happened out here. It's away from here.
Halfway in between here, and they do put a padlock on it, but it's just a barbed wire gate. They said that's the first time Dylan's ever closed the gate when he's coming here to drop a truck off. But they said absolutely he had to leave that way because he closed the gate off to this road right here. And we know Dylan, he's going to take the shortest way to his trailer. He'd walk it, but he'd go straight across and have no problem walking through the desert. He wouldn't take the road.
No.
Most of the time he's been doing odd jobs all over, and he walks every place to move his equipment.
I mean, trying to flew in the air. Start flying, and like you said, just spiral inward.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys very much.
The best theory would be so far that Dawn and Jim, the only other guys that connection to the farm, and the first 2 people to search.
When advertising on YouTube, I know that making an authentic video with a clear call to action is the key to getting results. That's why you
would have had interest in getting rid of Dylan, because they would be the ones to kind of take over the farm. And the fact that Dylan and Dawn had a problem 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Dylan basically fired Dawn, so Dawn had motive to come back. Police detectives, nobody have talked to Dawn or Jim.
And Dawn happens to be Grandpa's good friend.
Yeah.
And Grandpa's business partner with Dylan, but Dylan doesn't like Dawn.
Right.
Wow.
So this is much more than just a missing person search. We're now dealing with like a bit of a riddle.
Awesome. Welcome, Rumble. Good to have you here, man. Good stuff. Glad to be here for you. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. My apologies, Rumble. But I definitely appreciate you being here now, and I appreciate you trying to be here those days.
Helicopter 09 Whiskey Clover. Looking to put down here for a minute, and then we're going to be wrapping up our search. Need to head to
And I appreciate that.
possible for fuel reasons. Do you know when the Alpha...
You'll always be able to find me. I'm never too far.
09 Whiskey, I do have F-35s that are working low level in your direct path, direct windover, so I can't get you direct right now. How long will it be before you're asking for direct? It'd be probably within the next, well, as soon as possible, but you tell me. If you do a shutdown for 10 to 15 minutes, it'll probably work out with timing perfectly. Yeah, that gives us plenty of time. I'll be in the air, probably calling you in about 20 minutes ago. All right, so we have flown for about an hour. That's about all the fuel that we have right now to be able to get back to Wendover, to be able to stop off. And honestly, it kind of feels like we're not doing much good right now, other than clearing areas to be sure that there's not a body laying on the ground or something that was obviously recently disturbed, which is still kind of hard to tell the terrain out here. One good dust storm or rainstorm, which they had since he went missing, would easily cover up any tracks that were out here. So we basically need to land, talk with the family for a minute, and then head back over to Wendover and get fuel. And then I think before we spend any more time on this search, there's some more questions that need to be answered from people out here, the last people to see him, law enforcement, if they're going to get involved any further, which you think they would. However, it's kind of a weird area because it's in Utah.
They never do.
Nevada law enforcement is handling it because they're closest. They need to do some fingerprinting, some interrogating, asking some hard questions to the people that could be of interest. So as far as what we're doing right now in the air, I think our work here is about done. We've covered a pretty good area as to where somebody could possibly be. Basically this whole little basin right here from mountain to mountain. And we're also fighting a little bit of air traffic out here with the fighter jets dropping ordnances right behind us. So the restricted military airspace controllers are keeping us out of that airspace that we flew through to get here, because obviously we got to stay extra clear of all the bombs and stuff they're dropping. So, and even with that, the family doesn't think that south of here was much of an area of interest. They were more focused on kind of northwest and then towards town. So
maybe they should have went south then.
Family, and then I think as far as today goes, our work is probably done.
Feels weird picking it up. The legacy of the shield is.
I'm gonna lie, it's kind of a weird one. In a situation like this where it's kind of assumed that there might be some foul play involved, but that's assumed by the kid's mom, who obviously trusts him and knows him, that he wouldn't go off and do something stupid. But you never know. There's so many unanswered questions. So basically, we flew a lot, covered a lot of ground.
And that's such a vast area too, you guys. It's crazy how big it is.
If he was in this area,
which makes it perfect for military training,
surface level, passed out, fainted or something, we would have seen him. If he was recently buried, or if there were some earth disturbances, we probably could have seen those, because we saw recent tracks from other vehicles and stuff pretty easily. I know the family is still super frustrated because they can't get answers from anybody. But the whole thing that's kind of throwing me off about this is the fact that there's not much of an investigation happening. It's just kind of people waiting to see what clue happens next, rather than actively pursuing maybe some of the people of interest or different things like that. So
that's what caught my attention with this.
What we can do within our capabilities today. I wish we could have provided a little bit of closure to the family, or or done more, but we did as much as we could. I think we're gonna wrap it up, talk to family, and head home.
Well, thank you.
You guys have a safe flight back or whatever.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, text me
Eternally
later.
grateful. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. And yeah, I got your cell number, so I'll keep on.
Yeah.
All right, so that was pretty much the last place that he was seen. You see the area again for those of you that don't know this case that well. You see the area, how vastly huge it is, but it's also very, very wide, you know. And if he was out there, like Doug said, you know, I think they would have seen something already, because if you're up in the air, first of all, when you're looking over that place, any disturbances in that ground, you're gonna see it. You can't not see it. You know what I mean? So if they buried him, I think it would be seen. That's why I don't think he's there. I personally think, after the things that I've looked at with this, that he was taken somewhere else. Now, that's where Michelle and Pedals were talking about a little bit earlier. There was a rumor, according to the mother, the way she put it, from a rumor mill start, you know how they start, that he possibly could have been gay, okay, and had some sort of relationship with somebody out there. That went bad for whatever reason, and, you know, that could be what's going on. Now, the mother immediately discharged that and said, no. Ask anybody you want to. They'll laugh at you. That's not Dylan. Okay. Do you know that, though? Because it seems like the family he came from, they're kind of, you know, rough and tumble, rugged, farming. You know, you can't be that kind of person in that family. That's the take I get, okay? Like he probably couldn't say to his grandfather or his dad, you know, or maybe he felt like he couldn't, that he was that way, and it was, you know, a secret. So there's one thing that can take you in a certain direction that I've thought. So there's a lot of people that are wrapped up in this too, you guys. There's a lot of people that they've looked at for this, that, and everything else. Now I want to bring you guys a little closer to now. They did have a suspect, okay? They do have a suspect. I believe he's still in jail. I'm going to give you that real quick. That'll give you guys a little bit more to go with. Like I said, I'm giving you the important stuff as quick as I can to catch you guys up with this, because it does get better as far as well, I shouldn't say better. That's not good wording. It gets more interesting, per se. I'll say that for sure. So, and there's a lot of things that came to light that I even missed out on, because like I said, I was following it like very quietly. I'll just put it that way. Not as strongly as I was with the other. Okay, and I was missing things all over the place with it. That's not going to happen from here on out. I promise you that. So the stuff that it's crazy, Michelle. There's so many weird, different. You know, a lot of these cases. Like, here's my thing with Summer Wells. That's pretty cut and dry. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, weird shit going on with that one, but that's pretty cut and dry. It's just, it's this or this. Okay. This scenario is like, and with Gabby Petito, it was just, it's this or this, you know. I mean, I pretty much knew what that was the whole time, but it is what it is. Excuse me. It's like all over the place. You turn here, then you wait, you stop, back up, and go this way. No, you go that way now. Wait, let's back up over. Go over here now. Well, let's get down here on the ground and go that way. I mean, it's up and down all over. It's like it's a crazy roller coaster for sure. So I'm gonna give you guys this here was when they got the person in custody, and they're saying this is a person of interest. And my thing is maybe the law enforcement is there's two things I'm thinking with the law enforcement. This is a small town area. Everybody pretty much knows each other and or is related to each other. Along the lines of the whole Kylie Rodney thing, it's a smaller area. Everybody kind of knows each other, so on and so forth. Okay. So that being said, there's some things that I had to go back and rewatch and re-listen to because it when I first saw it, it's like, okay, you go back and watch it again and it changes it. It's weird, you guys. It's definitely weird. All right, let's see what this one's all about now.
Elder County teenager. We've learned about a second person of interest in the case.
Yeah, this comes just 24 hours after we first reported a suspect had been named in Dylan Round's disappearance. News specialist Matt Rasco joins us live right now with more from investigators and from Dylan's family. Matt?
Yeah, Mike and Deanie, from the start, Dylan Round's family has said that he did not just walk away from his farm. Last month, the sheriff's office announced it was a criminal investigation. Today, that investigation led them to a family friend who's now a suspect.
The focus of the family has been just finding Dylan.
Nearly 6 weeks into the search.
We beat that desert to death.
Still no sign of Dylan Rounds.
It's been 40 days of hell.
But for the first time, investigators have named a suspect, 58-year-old James Brenner, who also happens to be Dylan's closest neighbor in the remote desert area of Lucin.
I definitely don't think it's Jim.
Every little piece of information we get, you hold it so tight and you hope so badly it's going to lead to something.
Dylan's mom, Candace Cooley, says the family is acquainted with Brenner. At one point, he lived in a trailer on their property,
All right, Cece, we'll
helping
see you
Dylan
soon,
bale
hon.
hay.
Didn't know the man real well, but
Have a good rest of your day.
Had any reason
I
for
might
alarm.
see
The
you
sheriff's
guys
office
tonight if
says
you're around,
interviews,
Cece.
evidence, and forensic data led them to Brenner, who is currently being held in jail on unrelated federal gun charges.
Whether or not they're the ones we want to hear, we want the answers.
Just days before Dylan was
Love you,
last heard
Cece.
from on May 28th, he had what family describes as a strange encounter with a man. The sheriff's office says that man is a person of interest in the case, and like Brenner, he's also facing unrelated federal gun charges.
We are doing everything we can to bring our son home.
For now, the family is asking the public to stop searching for Dylan on the ground and let federal and local authorities investigate.
It's just a puzzle, and we're just slowly adding little tiny pieces, and hopefully we finish it and we find out what happened to our son.
That is the hope,
Yeah,
of course.
well.
The sheriff's office is still building their case. No charges for the suspect in this case, but he is expected in court here on unrelated charges. And the sheriff's office tells me they are still no closer to actually knowing where Dylan is right now. Mike and Didi.
It's got to be so hard. I hope that family can get some answers. Matt, thank you.
All right, now those are the two suspects that they had earlier on. Again, like I said, things change a lot. They really do. There's a lot to this. It's really pretty crazy. Where are we at here now? Like I said, it took a while for the FBI to get involved because it wasn't listed as a federal case. I never did understand the statutes on that. It was a little weird to me, but whatever. They're involved now. The time on this, you guys, it's just so weird. Everything was so delayed, and like I was saying, that the law enforcement issues can go one of two ways, or a little bit of both. Okay. This town is such a small town. Like I said, everybody knows each other. I wouldn't put it past anybody for law enforcement to know people that would be involved in this and look the other way. I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I've seen things like that happen before, though, is what I'm saying, okay? Yeah, that too. The grandfather and one of the aunts hired a private investigator. The mother fired him, and as things were being searched, she came out and told everyone to stop looking and let law enforcement do their job. Again, going back to when your child's missing, you're going to take any volunteers that are going to do anything they can do to help figure something out. Why would you stop that? Why would you stop that? That makes no sense to me. She makes no sense to me in a lot of ways. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. Let me see here. Let me see here. Bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to see how long I've been doing. I have given you guys a lot of the important stuff, at least the beginning of it, to show you where it started, how it started, and what the scenario was. Let me see. Thanks, Popper. Yeah, I may just bring it down here, guys. 2.5 hours were pretty good, but that's I got you guys rolling on the important parts of it. There, like I said, there's a lot more to it, but I got you guys at least caught up with the whole scenario as to what happened, timeline wise and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna bring it down here for today. Until maybe tonight. Because I do have some stuff I got to get done before my wife gets home. I appreciate you guys, those of you that are here, for being here. And I apologize for any drama from this morning. I just wanted to let it out there, what went on and why. And I appreciate that, guys, so much. Everybody that's in here, I appreciate the donations. I just appreciate you guys, period. I love you guys to death. I hope you guys have a great, great rest of your day. And I will see some of you guys tonight, if not all of you guys. Have a great, great day, like I said, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Do me a favor if you can, Popper, and give me a ring, please, sir. Give me a call. If you're not busy, sir.